Daniel Noyola Show, coming to you directly from First and 10 Sports Bar. Owner Jesse Noyola is here. Thank you, Jesse, for allowing us to be here. And let me tell you one thing. This is going to be the show of shows. Tenemos el especial huésped de nosotros, que se llama Rudy Trevino. Parece que quizás uno, dos o tres o cuatro no conocen a Rudy Trevino. Mira, antes que comiencemos también le quiero dar las gracias a LBJ, the DJ, who is our engineer, stage manager, y a Joanne, que lo tienen, interesado y que se porte bien. Y luego también a mi esposa Alma, que she'll be videotaping so that we can play this back on YouTube, ¿ok? So aquí vamos a comenzar con el honorable, mi amigo, el amigo de todo el mundo, Rudy Trevino. Welcome to the Daniel Noyola Show, Rudy.
Gracias, brother. What an honor, un honor estar aquí contigo y toda tu audiencia, todos tus amigos, familia que nos están escuchando a través de social media. Es un honor estar aquí, humildemente te acompaño, no nada más para primeramente pasar tiempo contigo, para platicar de las historias que hemos platicado ya de tantos años, pero al mismo tiempo para humildemente que me conozcan un poco más, ya no como la personalidad de televisión o la de radio, sino como un ser humano.
Ándale,
nada más.
ándale. Y eso es lo bonito del programa que hemos tenido, lo comenzamos como en marzo, y hemos tenido unos special guests that have been so awesome. And today, the tradition continues in the grandest way because we have the busiest man in show business.
Oh my goodness.
Tejano show business, in the news business. I mean, you name it. We're talking about Rudy Trevino. Before we learn and talk a little bit more about all the great things that you're doing now and that you've done in the past, let's start with the very beginning. Let's start with your beginnings in your hometown, Beeville, Texas.
Oh my goodness, Beeville, Texas. Born and raised there, 6th generation. I came from very humble roots, living in El Barrio. Just as you have, as we all have, like Molina.
Okay.
Well, I lived on the west side of Beeville on Stanford Street. Ahí tenemos todavía toda la familia que pues, that still remain. They're still with us. Because ya los que empezaron on Stanford Street cuando la calle era de Caliche, those have all gone. My grandparents, their parents, their cousins, primos, primas, ya pasaron a mejor vida. But I came from very humble roots, working very hard. My grandfather was a businessman. He had his own Depression-era grocery store that served ese barrio there in Beeville. He was old school. Ahí iba la gente que compraban fiado, ¿verdad? Él tenía su cartulina, ¿verdad? Donde tenía todos los little booklets donde escribían el nombre, apuntaba cuánto le compraban y el viernes cuando era payday, ahí iban y le pagaban por los groceries. So throughout it's pretty amazing. Throughout the Depression era, that was a little grocery store that particular neighborhood, todos los vecinos ahí, ese barrio, ahí iban a comprarle en la tienda del señor Silva. Dionisio Silva was my grandfather, and his history is incredibly rich. It goes back a very, very long time. He passed away at the age of 98 years old. And he would have probably lived a lot longer. He had an accident, he hit his head, he had blood bleeding his brain. So he was even very upset when that happened. This wasn't the way I was supposed to go, but hasta Dios, and that's one of the things that it always gives me inspiration. Because we look at others, we look at our past for inspiration, and we find it there. We know where to look, especially those who have given us the consejos, the time, and the opportunity to do our own thing. And he inspired me because he is actually the man who got me my first radio job at the age of 13. So the history in the music, the honey music industry goes back a long way. My mom and my aunt, my mom Noyola and my aunt Frances, they sang. But then they had two other sisters, Juanita and Aurora, who also sang. They were the older sisters, and they had they recorded on a label called Nopal Records. It goes back a long ways away. Nopal Records was based out of Corpus Christi. Y grabaron con un señor que se llamaba Genaro Tamés. I don't know if you remember that name, but Genaro Tamés had his own radio show. And they played with little caravanas here and there, and played throughout South Texas. Plataformas, way back when, you know. Pero
Qué bonito.
así es que la tradición de la connection to nuestra cultura, especialmente de nuestra música tejana, pues muy bonita que
Sí, mira, y hablando que tu abuelito desafortunadamente passed away at 98, me estabas diciendo antes del programa que alguien bien especial cumplió o va a cumplir 97.
That's right. That's my dad.
Yeah.
My dad is also an inspiration. That man worked very hard his entire life. Born in 1927 in San
Ah, mi papá
Antonio.
también, en 1927.
I'm in San Antonio. His mom was an opera singer in San Antonio. She passed away soon after he was born during the tuberculosis era. And so he was raised by a single father and his grandmother. And there was only two brothers that were born at that time to his mom. And then my dad's father decided, you know what, we want to leave the big city, we're going to move to Sydney. So they moved to the Sydney area. Yeah, in his late 20s, early 30s, and that's where they started their lives, right there. Ese abuelito on my side, Trevino abuelito, needed to be 104.
Oye, Dios mío, Rudy, fíjate nomás. Sí, qué bonito, man. Parece que I could be in A, good genes, it's in the blue genes or whatever, I don't know. Good Lord, that's awesome.
I guess that's what it is, but
Por eso te miras tan joven tú.
no, hombre, eso es puro smoke and mirrors que usamos en la televisión. That's all it is.
Déjame recordarles aquí a la audiencia, mira, aquí podemos a leer cualquier comentario que hagan ustedes, pero cuando oyen algo que les gusta y que lo que está diciendo Rudy, pues, give him some love. Hard. Nosotros aquí en el programa dijimos Rudy, píquele. And let him know, give him some love, baby. Come on, this is what this show is all about. Está bueno. Mira, le quiero saludar primeramente a un estudiante mío que era Joe Juárez, de West Coast, está en Austin, juega fútbol, toda la cosa está
Oh,
allá.
that's awesome.
Y aquí he's a great guy. Joe, y luego también a Joe Armas, he's a tremendous singer. And Jojo, we wish you all the very best. A ti, a tu gran hijo que también is a great singer. Stevie D brought him in here for the first time. And luego, they were the karaoke kings aquí en First and 10 Sports Bar por muchos años. And then they're up in the Bryan, Texas, College Station area. So he said, mira Juan Trevino,
How about that?
el mero de todos los meros Latin Grammy Award winner.
Listen, congratulations, my brother.
Saludos, mijito.
Oh my goodness, right?
Oh, that's so awesome.
That is something that we're so proud of. Juan Trevino, just an incredible man, doing so well, un talento de Dios tremendo. Do not stop, brother. Keep moving forward. That's
Y nomás porque the Latin Grammy Award winner Juan
Yes.
Trevino, that in itself, debe haber ahí unos, píquele, give him some love, man. I mean, you're talking about two-time
Amazing.
Latin Grammy Award winner and one of the greatest songwriters of all time.
Yes.
I'm telling you, I like to write songs. I started late at 67 years old. But let me tell you one thing, Juan, you are a blessing. You are a tremendous songwriter. Hey, y la guitarra y como cantas también, una voz impresionante. Bueno, mira, hablando de two times, Juan, do you all know que our guest here, Rudy, is two-time Emmy Award-winning reporter cuando estaba en California. Tell us a little bit about that, Rudy. Los Emmys?
It was crazy, but you know, mi trayectoria en la televisión empezó después de que me terminé as an active Navy journalist, and then I went into reservist and continued to serve the Navy for 12 more years. And so it was during the time that I was here at Channel 6, as I started, and that's where I met your wife Alma, when we were doing a program called Wednesday's Child.
Remember well.
Which, by the way, I have all of those old videotapes of all of my reports, and I would love to preserve those, bring them out to see where those children are today. But that's a whole other story.
Mándeme un clip,
¿Verdad que sí? From way back when.
Móchate.
Cuando estaban los jóvenes y los ellos, ¿verdad? But let me tell you, 1986 is when I got an opportunity to go work for ABC, what was then ABC Capital Cities, which eventually turned into ABC Disney. So I worked for them for casi los 18 años, ¿verdad? Me retiré ahí con ellos, ¿verdad? Después de esta temporada, porque me quería que me quedara por otros 5 años más. La cosa es que ese año fue que falleció mi abuelo en el accidente, so yo decidí de retirarme de ABC Disney a regresar a Texas, specifically here in Corpus Christi, to be closer to my mom and dad, para pasar un poco más de tiempo con ellos, to be able to spend with them. But getting back to so many different stories that happened and I covered, had the privilege and honor to cover when I was in California, goes back to almost day one, when the San Francisco earthquake happened. And that was my first presentation. I was at the Cypress Bridge collapse that happened in California, there in San Francisco. And I remained there on site for several days, covering it nationwide for ABC and all of the ABC O stations, where I was doing live reports. And I covered that area.
Were you reporting as a reporter or as an anchor?
I was a reporter then. I was an anchor, but they sent me out to cover this because it was such a historic event, such tragedy. But to me, it was an opportunity to be able to tell the stories that I was witnessing happening right in front of my eyes, because it was a horrific scene. This was the Cypress Bridge collapse. It was a double-decker bridge that collapsed during drive time, heavy drive time in the Oakland area of San Francisco. And it was the Oakland Bay Bridge that collapsed, and then you had the Cypress Bridge that led up to it. It was just very tragic. And so that was just one of those stories that just stays with you.
You can imagine.
The screams of the people that are trapped in the beams, that was just horrific. It brings back a lot of memories.
And then, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I read, and this will be since were the second inning was also because of another natural disaster.
It was another natural disaster that it was one of those disasters that we hear happening, but it was a plane crash. It's called the crash. It's named after the story that we covered. Fue una historia de prácticamente un avión se estrelló y cayó dentro de un complex de apartments. And of course, several people were killed, and it was very tragic. But we covered that live for what went on for several days because the blaze was so intense and so extensive.
So Yemi was one for that, or there was another part where I read where it was about the riots in L.A.
That was the other one. We had a nomination for that one. That was, oh my goodness, that was the LA riots that started with the Rodney King and
Can we all just get along?
Can we all just get along? It was right there in the audience for that.
Yes, sir.
And we covered that. That was just incredible because it affected so many people. Never has anything like that occurred in our country at that time. That's why that just, oh my goodness, I'll never forget the day because so many of us were out in the field. Many people were covering it out in the field. It was really tasty. So my fellow journalists who were out there and actually experienced it firsthand, they can tell the story even better because there were some areas that were hit so hard, like the area where they pulled that trucker out of the truck. Remember that?
Sí,
That was just horrible. Pero, I mean, tantas historias que cubrí, me dieron la oportunidad de entrevistar a muchas estrellas. Entrevisté a Michael J. Fox, the Olsen twins, just the list goes on and on. Ryan Reynolds over the years, nos hacemos amigos de él, Dylan McDermott, muchos otros artistas, pero una de las entrevistas más impactantes para mí fue the one-on-one that I did with César Chávez. En aquel tiempo siempre había controversia con los farm workers todavía porque they were seeking justice and gracias a Dios Cesar did what he did to bring attention and call attention. And there were many times when he would go on hunger strikes. I covered one hunger strike. The land of Cake.
Robert F. Kennedy, Trevino visitó.
Yes, he did, as a matter of fact. And it was during one of those press conferences where I was able to do a one-on-one with him and we got to know him. Just something that will carry in your heart forever and ever. Porque el señor ese, I mean, obviously he was a godsend, but he did so much for the UFW and for so many other Latinos. Exactly, and even having come to Texas back in the 60s and 70s, where he came and he led la marcha, from the valley to Austin to raise awareness of these migrants who travel from Texas.
Oye, sí. ¿Y no hablaste con Dolores Huerta?
Dolores again, that was another lady who
Todavía
is an amazing lady.
and she is an inspiration to everybody. She's so awesome.
I got to meet her during a boycott of a bank. As a matter of fact, they were boycotting Bank of America. And I was out there covering the story, and there she was, Dolores Huerta. And she met me, we talked, and we stayed in communication for a while after that. But one of the things that I asked her for, I said, Dolores, I've always been, first of all, not a fan, but an admirer of yours because it's the appropriate terminology. And I said, would it be possible for me to have one of your flags? She handed me one of the flags that they were carrying. But you could tell that this flag had been through so much. It was an old pedazo de madera, just, de cualquiera. But they used it, they put on the flag, and Dolores me la presentó. And it's just something that I'll never, ever forget. I still have that. It means so much to me because it came from the heart of what the United Farm Workers Union meant. It was humility, it was humble, and it was down to earth. Come and been touched by someone as great as Dolores.
Mira, así como estás diciendo eso de la flag, Farm Workers Union y todo, así, mi hija, la doctora señora Adriana Noyola, también, she's a Dolores Huerta de la Vivo on the Herbs, yes. So, ella también tenía una flag así, y ella se lo firmó todo.
Yes, it is.
Mira, brevemente vamos a decir aquí, darle saludos aquí. ¿Puedes tener los nombres?
We want to say hello to Joe Juarez. We want to say hello to Tony and Flaco Hernandez who are watching. Thank you so much.
Flaco Pulido, ¿no? ¿No eres Flaco Pulido?
Flaco Pulido también.
Ok.
Oh my goodness.
María Meléndez, Olga Dovalina, a great friend from our past, which is watching from San Antonio. Crystal Salinas, one of our great karaoke singers aquí de Roy, ahí está Flaco. Saludos, my brother, he says. And then, God, qué bueno, Crystal dice, hope to see you all on Thursday, come on down. She's a great singer, man. And her husband, Joe. Mi hermanita Isabel Noyola Martin, thank you, brother Danny, for bringing the best of the best Rudy Trevino to the day. Noyola, so much love to our local KE, Triple I, Channel 3 anchor, Rudy Trevino. Joe Juarez came back, he dice que, so true, sir, my dad survived on the way home here to Santa Barbara.
Yes.
And then Imran Khan, love this. Muchas gracias. Oh, I think I missed it earlier, bro. El gran David Munoz with Munoz Snapshots, wife Mary, and they won so many Tejano awards for their photography.
They're amazing.
They're amazing.
They're a power couple, man.
They are. They're good friends of ours. They sat here on our table many times as we did just recently. And so saludos para ellos. Mira, como les dije, Rudy ya nos dijo en un poquito tiempo tantas historias tan bonitas. Mira, yo le voy a picar una vez para que miren.
Oh, thank you so much.
Ahí va. Ustedes pueden picarle bastante. Pícale. Show them some love, man. This is one of the greatest of all time as far as in our Tejano music industry, and we're gonna get into some of those. But ¿sabes qué? Vamos a cambiar la onda un poquito because I was dialoguing con Rudy over Messenger o text message o algo y pues ella todo el tiempo pues no, this is Casey Kasem and you have a picture con Casey Kasem by the way.
As a matter of fact, we became friends, and he was my inspiration.
Él era que top 20, top 40.
Yeah, he did the American Top 40.
American Top 40, legend. And so Rudy is a Casey Kasem de nosotros. We're gonna get into those different things, but one of the things that I really, it just kind of like, man, it really hit my heart was that I asked Rudy, what up, ponemos 2, 3, 4, 5 songs de go countdown. Y Rudy me dijo, ¿sabes qué? Vamos a mejor go with some of my favorites, oldies of all time. So we're gonna do that. Do you have any recommendations? Because we got up to 10 songs, but we can knock out like 2 or 3, boom, boom, right now. And they quieren decir a LBJ, ¿cuál es
LBJ, I'll tell you what, we started off, and I gotta tell you a little bit of the backstory of this.
Right.
The inspirations are everywhere. We can find them anything. And one of them was when my parents would take me to El Salón Las Flores there in Vidro. Era un saloncito de madera, and it was where humildemente iban los conjuntos a tocar. And if you were lucky enough to park your car behind el salón, ahí había una ventana que estaba abierta con nada más que puro tela. And they would close it and then they would open it and you could look inside and you would see the basketball musicians. And I'll never forget the first time I went, who it was that my parents lifted me up and pusieron un poste so I could look in. And who was there? Paulino Bernal, Noyola Bernal, of course,
Juan Cifuentes.
Juan Cifuentes, El Macho, Manuel Solis, and I got to see them, and they Beto Salinas as well on the accordion, and this is one of the songs that I heard that I would like to share with you because it's one of my all-time favorites. Take a listen to it, listen to the harmony, and look how far ahead we were back then with the talent of
Conjunto Bernal.
Bernal.
You got it? LBJ, ahí viene.
Here we go.
Ahí nomás. Take it back, baby. Roots. Roots. Conjunto Bernal. El gran conjunto Bernal. thank you for sharing that with us. Mira, estábamos hablando de ahorita con lo del conjunto de tal, y tan cerca todos esos muchachos, la gran mayoría, aquí cerca de Kingsville, Texas. Aquí hay muy buena mata aquí para la música tejana, así como el Tejano Roots Hall of Fame, que is going to be coming up with the induction of Rudy Trevino as a Lifetime Achievement Award. That is so awesome, Rudy.
Thank you so much.
Otra.
And this is our sponsor, so we got to say hello to all our friends over in Atlanta.
Thank you, Ellen.
I got to say hello, first of all, to Ruben Lopez, to, of course, Noyola, all the guys and ladies from Tejano Roots, because I don't know, a lot of you may not know this, but this is my second Lifetime Achievement Award. Well, the first one at Tejano Roots. There was two, actually. This is going to be the second one.
Beautiful.
The first Lifetime Achievement Award was named after the man who was considered the father of Tejano recorded music, and that was the late Armando Marroquín. So when Javier Villanueva, JD Villanueva, helped start Tejano Roots, when I started doing Domingo and everything, Javier said, we want to give you your Lifetime Achievement Award. But it was the Armando Marroquín Lifetime Achievement Award from Tejano Roots. And then this year, I still don't understand, but I'm so humbly honored and so humbly accepted from Ruben and from Noe for giving me my second Lifetime Achievement Award, this time named in honor of Javier Villanueva, JV, who started and helped start Tejano Roots. So to have both of those Lifetime Achievement Awards and be recognized.
Sigues como, estás siguiendo tú ahorita, va a haber a third one.
No, man.
Y si ya está bueno.
And I'm telling you, I'm humbled beyond words.
I can imagine, that's the big.
There's so many other folks. There's so many others out
Not
there.
really, but good escuela. Here is something very special, and what best to be recognized by the Roots.
But they're our own people. They're not some big, gigantic, Grammys or Latin Grammys, or not even GTMA. They are humble. They are truly recognizing the people who make the music, los bajistas, los tamboreros, los bateristas, los keyboard players, the horn players, the ones that make it happen. And that's what Tejano Roots is about, and that's what JB. He inspired that to all those who would follow him in his position, to recognize the people who make music, people who help promote the music, recognize all those humildes, the ones that started out, with just a dream, playing in a garage band, saying, you know what, I want to pick up the accordion and I want to know how to play it, and that's what Tejano Roots is all about. They do it in the most humble way. They do it in un salón humilde. I mean, everything about this award show, digan lo que digan, whether it's good or bad, but they have their heart in the right place. They do it because they care.
A few years back, nosotros fuimos yo y Ana y mi hermanito David Noyola was enshrined into the Tejano Roots Hall of Fame as a broadcaster. Y como tenía La Voz del Pueblo, he had his own program on Sunday también. He interviewed all of the greats. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you and it might have been Katia.
Could have been.
Were co-hosting.
Yes, as a matter of fact,
Right?
it was. I got it myself.
Es que cuando me acuerdo de cosas, yo veo viejitos.
Se nos da la onda,
Mira, real quickly, porque están pouring in. We've got, mira nomás, Sonny
Big
Sauceda,
fan.
Mr. Entertainer himself, Sonny Sauceda.
Oh,
Good
Sonny,
Lord,
my goodness, man. I love that man.
Oh, man, he's so
My
awesome.
brother.
Yeah. Jojo Torres, thanks to, cheers to both of you. Rufus and Evelyn Grace, they used to live over in the corner of, they're close to John F. Kennedy Elementary. I love Rudy, and you too, Danny White.
Oh.
Hey, come on, you better say that now.
We got to say this. A big shout out to Imran Khan, a big fan from Afghanistan. Thank you, my brother, for watching.
Wow. Thank you, sir.
God bless you for tuning in and being a part of this. You made my day. Thank you.
That is so
We gotta get you on
awesome.
that friends list.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, we want to be sure that we come back and see. I know one of my students over at West Coastal, George Cifuentes, Jorge Cifuentes is watching here. And so we get a lot of big people. Join Batosal, cheers!
How about that?
Ahorita te compramos una, Joan. And so, mira, Mary Gonzalo Gonzalez from Motown, and Motif Band, her and her husband. Her husband, of course, is Roy Raul Gonzalez, who's the leader and just a tremendous musician from Motif. And former state representative Juan M. Escobar. No que no, música que nunca se acabará. Thank you, Representative Vanessa Martinez. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Mi hermana mayor, Mary Noyola Thompson. Great music, brother. Ram Chavez, great show. Tuvo temprano Ram contigo.
Yes, that's great. Barbie and I on Domingo Live, Ram Chavez talking about Reach Across America, which is this wonderful effort to remember the veterans who passed on by placing a wreath on the gravesites. And
6,000 wreaths a day.
6,000 just here in our area. It really is. And Ram, I tell you what, now there's another story right there, all in of itself, as you well know. His humble beginnings and the fact that he was one of the few who were out when they were in Vietnam. Who, I don't know if he actually saw it or got to hear it, but he may have been in the middle of a battle when Domingo Peña put together this caravana, and they went and performed in Vietnam, which, by the way, is going to be part of a documentary that I'm working on right now. It's going to tell the
Can't
story.
wait to see that.
Yeah, that's two things. I'm working on this documentary and my book about our beloved Tejano industry, and that's what this book is going to include stories told to me personally by the greats that are no longer with us. And in that book, which will be released first as an audio book, will include interviews with Tony de la Rosa, Isidro Lopez, of course Jimmy Gonzalez, Laura Canales, Paulino Bernal, Eloy Bernal, Jimmy Edward, Bob Gariarza. The list goes on and on. These are all folks who I've interviewed in the past who talk about not only their lives and their contributions to the music industry, but what at times affects our music from progressing forward. We have our beloved Queen, Trevino, who put our culture and our talents in the forefront. She did that for us. She opened the door. Emilio the same. So many others. But why today, and I may get controversial here, but why today is Tejano not recognized with the rest of the artists? We have our own smaller recognitions before. Those are questions that you can ask any artist, any Tejano artist who has been nominated or who wants to be nominated, why it is that it is not. Well, it's a small genre. We know that Tejano is a very small genre, but it shouldn't be because we have the talent. Our Tejano artists have the talent. They have the ability to go out there and perform right alongside, all these other Latino greats. And we just haven't been given the recognition because you put Little Joe next to everybody else.
Still going strong.
It's still going strong. I got to see him and be with him a few weeks ago. Let me tell you, that man has talent at 80 what? Yes, it's no difference than the Rolling Stones. Okay? It's amazing. He still has it. Ruben Ramos still has it. So many others that are out there. And of course, we got the new young artists like Sonny Saucedo, who's so innovative, doing so much that he's not only doing just Tejano, he's doing country, just like Michael Zagalo is doing, of course, regional Mexican, Tejano, but he's also doing country. It shows the multi-talents that our artists have. Bobby Pulido. There's another. So many. Yes.
I got my credentials last year for the Tejano Music Awards in front row.
Oh, wow.
Took some of the best video.
Yes.
And I took some great video of Isidro Rudy, Simon Salcera, you name it, And then what I did, Este Sunny sent me on Messenger. Hey, can you send me that video? No problem. Vamos, le mandé los tres. Because he's just a fantastic entertainer. Man, you can't take your eyes off of him. He's so, y la música, y el acordeón, y los guantes y toda la cosa. Saludos, digo, y que te vaya bien, no nomás en tejano, pero también en country, lo que tú quieras. You got it, brother. Okay, a ver qué más te
Es que no olvidan los raíces, okay? They will be the first ones that are going to tell you, we are Tejanos, we are proud to be from Texas. It is Texas-based music. It's like Grupo Frontera.
Mhm.
They were on Good Morning America. Guess what? They're from Edinburgh, Texas. They are Tejanos, and they just happen to be, they've got the right formula, and they're performing to a world audience.
Like over 25 million views or streams, or whatever they call it now. I don't know, but it was unbelievable. They were the number one song in the world.
It's just amazing. But you know what? It's innovative, it's new, it's fresh, and we have other artists, other bands, other conjuntos that have just as much talent, and they should all be recognized just as much.
Mira, unos grupos favoritos míos también así como los clásicos David Lee Garza, los musicales, mira, César Martínez is the lead vocalist for David Lee Garza, puro robe. And that's why, and César Martínez, como no está cantando con David Lee, he sings solo, he sings mariachi, he sings Joan Sebastian, me encanta Juanito Juan Gabriel, and so on and so forth. Y our very first guest on the Danny Noyola show was César Martínez. César Omar, íntimo amigo de nosotros. Saludos, mijito, we love you, God bless you, and thanks for tuning in.
Otro músico talentoso de aquí de our area, the coastal area.
World class singer. He's a world class singer.
And I always talk about how, when I do the news, that Corpus Christi may be known as the number one oil exporter, high number of agriculture and livestock and all this. But you know what? Is also a commodity is our talent. The musical talent that we export throughout the rest of the world. And it comes from here. We made, San Antonio called itself the capital of Tejano music. Alice is the birthplace of Tejano music. But guess what? Corpus Christi is the heart of Tejano.
Vamos de igual, para que no se me caliente la piel, I'll drink to that.
Very good, sir. And we're taking little sips here. Okay.
Necesitamos, by the way, First Ten Sports Bar, aquí en Corpus Christi, y el dueño aquí está con nosotros, mi hermanito Jesse, got a great bar here. Alright, mira, Francis López, que trabajó muchos años en West Coast, en la Central Office, lo está mandando saludos. Hola, Rudy, Danny, great music. Millie Montano came back here on us and says, congratulations, Rudy. And so, mira, Rubén López. Also, the Domingo show will also be recognized. Hello.
That's right.
Que si no se te olvide.
No, no se te olvide. Ahí estaremos todos.
Thank you, Ruben. Oh, that is so awesome. Por eso tenemos el interaction thing aquí, porque si se nos olvida algo. No, 11 is watching. Come on, brother. All right, Big Noe. Eddie David, íntimos amigos, comenzaron en Long But Not Forgotten organization. There's so many great works, concerts, fundraisers for that organization. And thank you, Noe. He's one of my great friends aquí también. Jim Luna.
Oh, my goodness.
Rudy,
Quarter Room
exclamation point. Quarter Room Productions.
And I tell you what, that right there, Jim Luna and Quarter Productions, they have the right formula to bring together these artists to perform, just as he did in Pearland when he brought in together all these different groups, bands. Roberto Pulido and Bobby Pulido, Little Joe and his brothers, and just so many people. It was just incredible. He did the same thing, I think, in Alice. He's done it in Kingsville, he's done it in Rockport, in Ingleside. It's organizing, and it's not just simple to call these artists to come in. It takes a massive effort, and Jim Luna has this magical touch that he can bring and unite these groups together.
Bueno, lo bonito también de ahora más recientemente me gusta porque tienen una cierta área, a certain area there that is like VIP, and they charge for that, and you're up a little closer to the stage and all that. But then around there, like in the different parts, como allí en el Pearland y otros, todos los demás entran gratis. So, come on, he's got something going there. You know, I think, if I'm not mistaken, porque ahora en la mañana estábamos viéndote los domingos show a ti y a Barbie en la casa. Me subí el carro para venir para acá. En la radio estás en Countdown. Sí, lo estaba viendo. Y luego, if I'm not mistaken, well, one of your sponsors is Jim Luna.
Jim Luna's one of the sponsors. Jim Luna and Courtroom Productions.
Small world, baby.
It's small world. We're blessed to
Thank
have
you, Jim.
Blessed to have Jim Luna and Courtroom. We're blessed to have LNF Distributors, also so many others, Citgo refineries. We have several other major corporations who believe in what we're doing. Not so much, it's not about Rudy Trevino. Rudy Trevino is just a small subtitle. It's Tejano, and it is our culture, and it is our people, and it is our talented artists who this show is about. Tejano woke up, and it's not about Rudy, it's about the artists, and it's about the music, it's about promoting. For 28 years, Dan, 28 years this show has been on the air. How it came to be is the interesting story behind it that many people do not know. Because it could have ended up in a trash can. It could have ended up in a trash can because it was not my idea, it had been a wish, desire, but it was the people that I worked for at ABC who came up after La Desaparecida Selena passed away, and there was all this talk about Tejano, all this discussion on Tejano. There was an interest, and that's when Tejano experienced that surge. Okay, when they heard that, ABC Radio put out a memo. Who here knows about Tejano? Who here knows about Tejano? I do. I was in California. Remember, I'm in California. Okay, get him in here. Let's talk. What is this Tejano stuff? And is Selena the only one? She the first one to do Tejano stuff? Okay, guys, you sit back. I got a history lesson. I got a history lesson for you. And that's how Tejano will count down. The thing is that it was before then where I had gotten to meet Casey Kasem at a Jerry Lewis telethon prep. We were getting ready to do a Jerry Lewis telethon, and Casey Kasem was very much involved. So I had an opportunity to meet him and get to know him and spend some time with him throughout the years. Where I had told him, I said, my dream has always been to do the countdown because we have an artist. And he said, well, what is stopping you? What exactly is stopping you from doing this? And so I said, it's having the right connections. He says, stay with it because the right connection will come to you one day and it's going to be unfolded in front of your eyes. And lo and behold, when that day came, I called him and I said, Casey, guess what? We're doing this.
Oh,
congratulations. Fast forward to Harvey, during the destruction of Harvey, and I get sent out on a story to Rockport where volunteers have come from all over the world to come help, rebuild and clean up. Among them there was a young lady by the name of Carrie. Her last name, Casey. She was Casey Kasem's daughter. And when they introduced me to her, I said, I've got one thing I'd like to show you. I scrolled through my phone, and all of a sudden, all the pictures of me and her dad popped up, and she started crying. And we sat down, and I said, I want to interview you and talk to you about your dad and the inspiration. And you know what? She knew about Tejano. She knew the genre. She knew how many lives her dad had touched. And to me, it was the closest thing to heaven that I could ever get. It was the fact that she recognized our industry.
Thank you for sharing that. Nowhere else but the Danny Noyola show, baby. Come on. Oh, that is awesome. I want to say real quickly hi to the great Keith Leal.
Oh my goodness.
Allá de Houston. Keith, man, saludos from Houston. We love you, Keith. You get some great shows, man. The Rano Time podcast, his Houston hits. Toda la cosa, he is so awesome. He's tremendous. And then Yvette Garza is also watching. Hi, Yvette. Joe Gonzalez, thank you, Danny, for your awesome show. Jesse, nice establishment. And Rudy for all the news. God bless. So, vamos a darle otra canción, Rudy. A ver,
okay.
Tocamos otra.
I know which one.
That's why.
The great Johnny Herrera. Paz descanse.
Compositor aquí, compuso ahí su house of music con la calle Ford.
Exactly. He wrote the songs that will forever be the anthem of Tejanos. There's several anthems, okay, but this is one of them. And he wrote it, and it was first recorded by another great Corpus Christi legend, Oscar Martinez. I got an opportunity to interview him. He will also be in the book. Yes. I'll tell you what, you can't have a Tejano show without a Tejano Enamorado, but it was Oscar Martinez who put it on the platform, and then it was redone by my cousin, a guy by the name of Jimmy Edward Trevino.
Holy smokes! Who knew that? I didn't know that. Thank you, Rudy.
Tenemos una entrevista con Jimmy Edward, and it will also be in the book, the audiobook, because he has an incredible story as well.
Incredible singer.
But let me tell you, this is the version.
¿Qué me importa si me acusan de desamor? Si me quieres mandar todos a volar. Si me dicen que yo soy el que amas, no tengo una mujer aquí y allá. Si me quieres yo te estoy queriendo. ¿Qué más vale si no sabes la verdad? ¿Qué importa ya? Que sepas mi pasado, no sustantivos es que yo soy el que más me adora. Si te dicen que yo vivo en las cantinas y que todo para amar ese dolor, I wish I could say tú prefieres cosas finas y yo tan solo puedo darte un gran amor.
Jake is Noyola. Yeah, I know the taxpayer. Story about him, you know, brother, right? He is Noyola's brother. And his nephew, his brother, his son, that's what he performed. He performed every night. And he was there.
Que sepas mi pasado y ya no me asustan esas cosas de mujer. Es que yo soy el que me adora. Y el que ya no me
some love, give Oscar Martinez some love, give Jimmy Evans some love, give LBJ some love,
There you
give
go.
Benny Noyola some love, give somebody some love, baby. This is the love channel.
I gotta tell you where I've got some true love, and then I'll tell you,
All right.
this man here was my inspiration, my mentor. He continues to be my mentor today, because I need advice. I need my brother. I go to him. And he has been a shining beacon of light for me, and his name is Henry Pena. And
Pepsi Peña.
Henry Pepsi Pena from San Antonio. When I was 13 years old, that's who I listened to on the radio. When I was that same age, I would watch him on KWX, Canal 41, for the Pepsi Peña show on television. And it was through a mutual friend of ours, ya falleció, pasó mejor vida, Ruben Cubillos, en Chihuahua, they used to call him, but Ruben Cubillos, the big Chihuahua, because he was a mighty person. He's the one that did the Salino logo. Okay. And so he was beloved by many, and always we carry Ruben's memory alive with us. But Henry Pena inspired so many others, and he does 2 radio shows. I've done several radio shows. The S.A. Oldie radio show. He works with Jerry Benavides over at the Jalapeno Radio Network all up and down the state of Texas, and has done an incredible job of catering to a segment of our generation, the baby boomer generation. You need to have him on the show.
The oldest teenagers.
The oldest teenagers.
He's a good friend because I met Pepsi Peña through Cesar Romana.
Oh yes.
Cesar had a Mother's Day thing here, and Henry came down to be the MC, and we met and all that. And then later, Cesar had worked real late, and he told me, hey, I had always said, you want to blind over there? Because he was going to be on the San Antonio Oldies.
Right. Right.
And it was,
Oh yes.
and Cesar Martinez set all kinds of records there with Pepsi Peña. He was just, everybody was just like, wow, what a talent.
Yep.
By himself, he had a record for most costume changes,
Oh.
3. He had a record for most songs sung at Henry's show, while he could was oldest teenagers. He sang 15 songs. Usually, Gaby canta allí 4, 5, 6. Cesar 15 canciones, and they gave him like 6 standing ovations. I mean, it was amazing. And I've got some great video of that. I put it out on Facebook and all that. Otro saludo para Henry Pepsi Peña, buen amigo. Did you see what he wrote about you? Oh my goodness. That brought some tears to my eyes.
Let me tell you, every time I read what Henry writes for me,
Oh my goodness.
I tell you, he has got great love in his heart. And I'm blessed to be in his universe because Henry has done so much. You know, a lot of people may not know that growing up in Vigo, the only stations I would listen to were in San Antonio, of course. Some of the ones you can focus with. That's how I got to hear Henry. That's how I got inspired by people like Bruce Hathaway, who worked at KTSA. And my dream was always one day I'm going to work at KTSA. And sure enough, one of the jobs that got me where I wanted to be was KTSA. And I worked under a newsman by the name of Logan Stewart, who was a legend in San Antonio. Under Bruce Hathaway, we worked for him, so many, Brad Messer, and so many others. Ann Schiller, these are the people that I worked with in San Antonio. Gave me the opportunity to do news on the air. And it was because of then, me being on the air, that my news director, who had originally hired me here in Corpus Christi as a reporter, heard me anchoring the news on the air on KTSA back in 1980. And I get a phone call saying, why didn't you tell me you could anchor? Well, it's because I'm not in front of the camera, I'm anchoring on radio. He says, when your contract is up, I'm going to hire you back and I want you to come back here to anchor. So I anchored again, coming back to Corpus Christi in '83. And that's where the career as a television news anchor and reporter started. And it was because of people like Henry Pena who inspired the little kids out there who were just listening to him and listening to his style and listening to his message.
The Hano Radio Hall of Famer.
That, let me tell you, we would try twice, and that will be one of the things that Henry, I know, has never given up on me. He says, that's where you belong to be. It's like, you know what? The recognitions are these right here. And to have our people still watch Domingo Live, which by the way is the most viewed television show on air here in Corpus Christi and is also the longest running television show in the nation. More than 60 minutes. We went on the air in 1963, right? 1963, 1964.
Con Domingo Peña.
Con Domingo Peña, and has been on the longest.
That's amazing.
60 Minutes didn't start till 1968.
That's an awesome movie.
Domingo Peña.
Otra canción, Rudy, para que.
Yes, sir.
A ver si they give us a little bit of love, man. Give
Let me
me a
tell
little bit of
you,
love here.
which is the other? I gotta look them up because I sent him to LBJ yesterday. And
I
I should have it memorized.
Pon una de los únicos.
Oh man, there's one little Sunicos. Those are a couple of other guys that touched my heart. Let me tell you, los Sunicos and I, my connection with them todavía continúa. Because one of the people that inspired me a lot was Mel Villarreal and Snowball de la Cruz, of course, Valde Muñoz, oh my God, of course,
Tacho Rivera.
Tacho Rivera, of course,
The great
dear
singer.
friend, Oscar Solis, an incredible keyboard player,
Yes.
and of course, these are people that just did so much, and yet Los Únicos were so innovative. They brought in the keyboards long before anybody else. So others claim they did, but it was Los Únicos who did it under the direction of Valde, Oscar, under Media Real, Snowball. This was a magical group of men with such talent and produced music like this right here that you gotta check it out. Caminito de Rieles, Los Únicos.
I think it was Dave Daniels, maybe one of them was.
One.
That's tremendous.
Coliseum on New Year's Eve, Coliseum, baile gracias, in Vegas.
Woo, man.
That's it, bro.
Very good.
Yeah, about 1973,
Way ahead of time.
1973, I believe. It's on me now.
That is so awesome.
Pretty amazing.
Mira, María Gloria Flores, Gloria, Richard, how you guys doing? Come on down for karaoke, man.
Here we go.
Joe Ramirez is watching. Hermanita Isabel Noyola Martin has joined us. Dice, ¿cómo nos vamos a quedar de los únicos, a acordar de los únicos? Gracias, Rudy, por tantas memories. Eddie Olivo, mi camarada,
Oh, Eddie Olivo.
is also going to be a Hall of Fame inductee.
And he's also getting Eddie Olivo is getting what we promised him, and we held on to that. And he was going to get something in the mail, but I said no, I'm not. He is getting an official Tejano Bowl Countdown ring that's going to be presented to him
You hear that, Eddie?
during the awards.
You hear that, Mr. Olivo?
So I had to break the silence here because I didn't want to think so good. He had no hombre, I just had to.
Ahorita, brother.
So Eddie Olivo, you deserve it, my brother. He is my my library and
Oh, yeah.
my reference to anything, everything that has to do with Tejano and collecting your own music. Before him, it was in Desaparecido Bob Olivo.
Yes.
From Houston, que paz descanse, my
Yeah.
brother Bob. He helped me start the Tejano Bowl Countdown, and forever with Bob Olivo being my heart because of the fact that Bob Olivo had this knowledge and this wit about him, about Tejano. He knew everything.
Dice Eddie, dice Eddie, híjole, mil gracias, my brother Rudy.
Eddie, you're beloved, my brother. Thank you so much. I got to say hello to Mark Lozada and the Lozada family from Central California who have always been supporters of su servidor, but also supporters of Tejano, and they still support and play Tejano at pretty much every venue. Wherever Mark goes with his DJ business, he does it there in Central California.
Sí, vino a saludarte y a
Gracias,
gracias. Eddie dice muchísimas gracias, carnal. And Roland Arias de los
Hi,
Arias
Roland.
Brothers, I got Roland, great musician. Hello guys, nice show.
Thank you.
Ahora, ¿sabes qué? Because se nos está acabando el tiempo aquí. Le vamos a pedir a permiso a si Jesse nos da un poquito más tiempo para go a little overtime. Porque a veces cuando está muy caliente este programa, ya sorry. Está muy caliente, le tengo que dar un poquito más. No, está bien caliente. Pero so, dale otra canción, pero que la música está muy buena.
Okay, this one right here is going to feature a group that was incredible as well. They were groundbreaking. They did things that nobody else was doing. And again, it was the harmony and the makeup of the group that made it what it is today. And the main singer no longer with us, but let me tell, or the drummer either. But I want to recognize, of course, Chacha Jimenez because of his incredible talent. And let me tell you, these guys here, they could still be playing today if they were all around because people would love them and we would introduce them to a whole new generation. So here they are, once again, for the first time here on this show right now, was Chacho, one of my favorite songs.
Oye, nomás.
Bobby Naranjo, the quarterbox, and then connected the accordion to a sprinkler system, make it sound like an organ, but it wasn't. That's him. Nobody ever played like him. He's still with us. Well at it. But it was the drummer, here for it también. ¿Cómo se llamaba? That's the way. But he was so good.
So
That
what-
was los Chachos, Chacho Jiménez, Ernie Ruiz.
Great drummer,
The
great
great
drummer.
drummer, que en paz descanse, que Dios lo tenga en la gloria, along with Chacha. And of course, the Solis brothers, amazing people. I'm sure they have great stories to tell.
Oh, I'm sure.
Solis brothers, because it's just amazing how they came together to produce this kind of music that you don't hear. The instrumentation, very complex, but very unique, but still very nice.
The great Jackie Gomez is watching. Jackie Gomez.
Jackie.
Oh my goodness.
How are you?
She's also been on the Day Noyola show, and of course when her and Beto Ramon get together,
Oh my God,
it's
pure magic.
They're going to have a record of being here at First and 10 more than anybody else, for sure. Thank you, Jackie. God bless you. A ver, ¿qué más tenemos aquí? Belay dice, heard many of these bands at the Coliseum, the Carousel Club,
There
in
you go.
Corpito. Jackie says, hola. Ole, otra canción.
We got another. You got another. Which one you got next? You got lined up there.
Tú-
Le
tú-
mandé
tú-
las canciones.
tú-
Okay, this right here. This is my favorite. So if I could sing a song, this would be the song I sing. This band
Ponle,
here
no te agüites,
was
ponle.
Corpus. Let me tell you, este grupo aquí es puro Corpus. Okay, Joe Waco Carmona.
Primo mío.
Okay, so Joe Waco Carmona. That tells you everything. We had, of course, the legendary, the bass player from Houston, Texas, Rudy Buga. Okay, you had so many others, but the singer in this song, Rubén Botella, the late,
Motown, the
great-
Molina.
late great Rubén
Sí.
Botella.
Yeah.
Esta canción es breve. It's got very few words that more could have been written, but that song right there is my song. It's two songs that I love because they represent who I am and how it is that we all feel. And we all been through it. Let me tell you, this song right here. If Mr. Q is listening, I don't know if Mr. Q's what, but this is
Oh,
the
he's
song
one of
I
my
want
friends.
to record.
I'll
Record this
love to have
right
him on
here.
too.
I want you to listen to this song, Rubén Botella, La Herencia,
Yes.
with Rudy Buga, and of course Waku, all the guys from La Herencia, no other music like it from Corpus Christi, original music. Check it out.
¡Ay, ay, ay! ¡No! Come on. Come on. Give us some love, baby. Come on. All right, Jackie. Come on, come on. Put up, Jackie. Así me gusta. Yeah. Woo, 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 woo.
Powerful words.
Good, good. Thank you, Miguel.
Llena de los mares,
Incredible voice, right?
con mi amargo llanto, pero yo te juro que nunca, jamás volveré. Buscar el olvido
Yeah.
que pueda borrarte, recorriendo el mundo.
Esa canción les llega al corazón. El cantante de Morir,
Pero
Rubén Botella.
encontraré. Y cuando andes lejos, me traerás más cerca, sin que puedas verme dejar por llorar. Vive su
members of the original Dinos. Mr. Q tells the story. Benny tells the story about how they were original members, how Puga was I think a band boy.
Oh my goodness.
And it started out like that. But great
Great talent.
talent.
Houston's legends.
Oh yeah, Houston Legends. Let me tell you, man, those guys are going. Rolando una compadre, of course, Mr. Reina, el compadre from the valley, Eddie Reina's father-in-law. You know, they're doing a lot.
Papá de Lalo.
Yeah, Papá de Lalo. This is
Lopio,
Senior.
¿no?
Lalo Senior. It's just amazing that they're doing what they're doing. And cada quien está haciendo sus partes, ¿verdad? Sus partes para preservar a nuestra onda, a nuestra música y todos los que contribuyeron a nuestra cultura y nuestra música. And we hope and pray that our new generation of singers, and there's so many of them now that are coming, so many more female artists
Oh, it's
that are
amazing.
coming up.
Beautiful.
They're getting involved. And hay que apoyarlas. And how do you do that? You do it by buying your music, going online. Don't steal it. Go online, buy it. Pay the 99 cents for the song. Pay the $12 or whatever it is for the CD. Download your music. That's how we support it.
Support
Not
it.
local.
Píquele, whenever they put something out there on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Era Belén nos dice, cuando Rubén Botella estaba chico, él le decía a mi mamá, que es mi mamá también, que cuando él crecía, iba a cantar como el hermano de mi mamá, mi tío, Marcelo García del Valle. Él estaba en un dueto, ya apareció, pero Marcelo y Aurelia, y en Falcón Records.
Yes.
Ahí, the studio, they named it after mi tío Marcelo García.
I want to say hello to Dorothy Martinez. Hola from Pueblo, Colorado. All our friends from Pueblo, Colorado. They listen to you there. And of course, I know that Fred, the Honorable Downtown up in that area as well. So thank you very much for listening.
Miren la anuncia de Jackie, ¿qué lo dice Jackie? ¿Lo puedes ver o no?
¿Qué dice Jackie?
Beto Ramon and I will be at First and 10 on December
Oh,
the 15th.
nice.
Rudy, great to see you on the Danny Noyola show.
Thank you.
No, that's awesome.
Thank you so much.
Mira, aquí podemos seguir y seguir y seguir, porque como estamos tomando youtuber y se nos va a hacer caldo.
Ya sé,
Pero
estamos dándole las gracias al patrocinador.
Exactamente.
Patrocinadores,
Vale.
Voice
Pero mira, yo creo que como despedida, porque queremos darte una invitación right now, que a ver cuando hay un futuro, cuando tengas tiempo, cuando puedan venir, yo sé que tienes un horario tremendo, a ver si los acompañas para Rudy Trevino 2.
I would love to.
You see what I'm saying? Porque hay tanto que hablar y tanta educación para nuestra
Esa es
gente.
otra cosa.
Me
Whole
voy a
other story.
Dijo Rudy que iba a escribir un libro y dije, tú no sabes necesitar escribir un libro. Antes iba a una enciclopedia de libros, con tanto que eso estaba en la onda. Pero date la despedida ahorita y lo que quieres decir, your last words, you got them. And then LBJ te va a tocar la canción que tú querías que fuera la última.
La última canción, because I think there's a lot of people que, primeramente, les damos las gracias a todos los que nos apoyan, que siempre nos ven en las noticias a las 6 y a las 10. Cuando me promovieron a la posición de Joe Gazen, fue un honor grande, algo que no esperábamos que iba a pasar, pero pasó, gracias a Dios, por todo. Despite todo lo que ha pasado, todo lo que dice, hay mucha gente que son negativos. No queremos eso, queremos todo lo positivo, porque nunca saben la realidad de la historia behind it. No estuviera aquí hoy, gracias a Dios, si fuera todo negativo, ¿verdad? Pero la cosa es que hay un Dios sabe lo mejor y sabe por qué pasa lo que pasa. La misma cosa, quiero decir que queremos inspirar, no tratar de atrasar a nuestra raza. Queremos inspirar a los jóvenes para que continúen ellos avanzando. La cultura tejana es única. Somos indígenas de este estado. We're indigenous people. The Mexican American community, specifically from Texas, and even more specific from South Texas, Corpus Christi, Coastal Bend. We're indigenous cultured people from our area. We come up with our own music, our own food, our own style, our own way of dressing, our own ideas. Okay, that needs to be preserved, but it needs to grow and it needs to advance. And we can only do that one way, and that is through education. So I leave those words here with my dear friend, one of the incredible educators that I've admired, who has been an inspiration to me. Dan, thank you for inviting me to estar aquí contigo. Siempre.
El honor es de nosotros, ¿sabes?
Trevino.
La canción que vamos a dejar
Órale.
también una inspiración that influences me because it tells the story because we all have one. Ven y cuéntame tu vida. As we say goodbye.
But we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna end the show with
Ah, I know what you're talking about.
all right.
Well, check it out. Hope you like it.
Little Tony.
That's a full man. Full man right there.
Ven y cuéntame tu vida.